Greetings, everybody. This is Kickstart Your Life, and I'm your host, Marc T. May. Excited about having you here with me today. We are broadcasting live for the first time, so I am excited. We've been doing podcasts for many years, but this is the first time we have done it live. Many pre-recorded shows, but the first live one. I'm excited about that. We previously, about 30 minutes ago, recorded a live show, and of course we had a technical glitch. It recorded the intro, and everything else was silent. Dead silence, nothing on there. But hey, that's what happens in the world of technology. We're not going to let it stop us. We're going to keep on moving forward, pressing. And hey, we're here now, and we're glad to have you here with us right now. This episode, we're going to talk about, is fear really stopping you, or is fear directing you? All right, think about it for a minute. Let it marinate. As I say, let it marinate. Put a little sauce on it. Is fear really stopping you, or is fear directing you? Okay? Well, what do you mean? Where am I coming from with this? Well, think about this. Whenever we step out into something new, we step out into something that is different, fear has a way of showing up. Fear has a way of showing its face in the place. You know, we're not looking for it, but fear shows up. Fear comes to interfere and disrupt you on your path to whatever it may be, success, one of your goals that you have set for yourself. Fear will come. Many times fear will come because it will say to you that, hey, you dream too big. Your ideas are too big. They're too aspirational. Oh, nobody will buy into that. Nobody is interested in what it is that you're doing. So whatever it is that you are launching out to do, there are elements of fear that will come to stop us. And as we continue on, we're going to take that thing and look at it from a different vantage point. We're going to look at it from a different vantage point. When we start out into a new venture, when we start out into a new business, when we launch out in our dreams, when we launch out with a new idea, a new concept, a new innovation, a new book, anything that we're doing differently, fear has a way of showing up on the scene. All right, let's look at it. I've got a few points that I want to touch on. Now, here's another thing. When fear shows up, how you handle fear, how you handle it, how you handle fear is what really matters. When fear presents itself to you in one of these forms that we're talking about today, how you handle it and even how you address fear is what really matters. Are we going to let allow fear to stop us from reaching our goals? Are we going to allow fear to stop us from achieving the success that we've set out for ourselves? What we do with fear is going to determine the outcome. It's going to determine the outcome of the dream, of the idea, of the business. Fear comes and it talks about, or it brings with it, in this instance, two things that fear comes to do. Okay, I want to talk to you about two things that fear comes to do. Okay, one, fear comes to derail you. Fear comes to derail you. Fear comes to knock you off your path. Fear comes to knock you off the tracks, to knock you off the track of success. Fear comes to knock you off the track of your goals. Fear comes to knock you off the track of your dreams. Fear comes in one form to derail you, to get you off course, to get you all discombobulated, frustrated, ready to quit, throw in the towel. Now, the second thing that I have identified that fear comes to do is that fear comes to paralyze you. I call it paralyzing fear. Fear comes to paralyze you. A paralyzing fear is that fear that comes on you, and when it comes on you, when it presents itself to you, it paralyzes you to the point where you do nothing. Paralyzing fear, no movement. Where there's no movement. There's no movement forward. There's no lateral movement. There's no type of movement. You're just paralyzed. Have you ever been in that predicament where you get to a point where you don't know what to do? That fear comes in and it grips to the point where you don't know what to do, so you do nothing? That's paralyzing fear. But what I want to tell you today is that we need to look at fear from a different perspective. We need to look at fear from a different vantage point. Someone may look at it from here. That's their vantage point. Someone else may look at it from over there. That's their vantage point. Today, I want you to look at fear from this vantage point. Is fear really stopping you? The answer is no. Fear is not stopping you. Fear is not stopping me. I'm not going to allow fear of something that I have never done, something of a place I've never been, stop me. Come on. The journey of this whole life experience, that's part of the journey. The fun part of all of this that we're doing, and hopefully there's a fun part for you, is the journey. Things will come up, life happens, but we have to overcome it and keep at it. On the previous broadcast that got all whatever, we had all the technical difficulties in, I was telling a story about how I came up with the concept of Kickstart Your Life and how I discovered that if I changed my vantage point, my perspective of fear, how I could use fear to my advantage. It was the night of my 50th birthday, and I was sitting there evaluating my life, contemplating my life, looking at my achievements, even though I had written several books, even though I had traveled around the world. I had been to many countries. I was looking at my life and feeling like I had not done enough, or I wasn't satisfied with me. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been to a place where you just weren't satisfied with yourself? It's not that you hadn't accomplished anything, but for some reason or another, you weren't satisfied with where you were. And so that night, as I stayed up and I began to pray and I began to talk to God. Now, I don't know what you believe in, but that's what I believe in. And I began to talk, and I came up with this idea that came to me about kickstarting your life. And I had 21 power steps. 21 power steps to a better me. And if you follow the podcast, you'll see that several of the power steps are already in the podcast. We are working the rest of the power steps into the podcast. So 21 power steps to a better me. In other words, I wanted to be a better person than I was at that moment in my own eyes. My self-evaluation brought me to a place where I felt I needed to be better than what I was. And so I came up that night with 21 power steps to a better me. And then power step number 1, which is the power of choice, really rung true to me, that I am and you are a direct result of the choices that you have made in life. Whether they were good choices or whether they were negative choices, we are a direct result of the choices that we made. And so that's how that all came about. I said all this to tell you how I saw fear from a different perspective, from a different vantage point. So as I began to prepare this, and I'm known as I'm a minister, preacher, an international minister. And so when I started talking about doing motivational and inspirational things, this is when fear presented itself to me, saying, hey, you're a preacher. Stick to preaching. Stick to the Bible. Stick to this. Oh, you're a sellout. That's how fear presented itself to me. And that's when I learned that fear can be used as a compass. Oh, let me say that again. Don't miss this. That's when I learned that fear can be used as a compass. Instead of being derailed, instead of being paralyzed, I found out that fear came, but what fear was doing, fear was actually pointing me. You know what a compass is. It points north, south, east, and west. It points north, and it gives you, lets you know which direction to move in. If you know where north is, then you know where east, west, and south is. And so fear was pointing me to kickstart your life. fear was pointing me to 21 power steps to a better me. Fear was pointing me to motivational and inspirational speaking. That's where fear was pointing me. If I would have had a different vantage point and saw fear in the negative way, there would be no Kickstart Your Life Today with Marc T. May. But I flipped the script and I began to see fear in a positive way. Fear can be your compass to let you know you're moving in the right direction. Grab hold of that today. Fear can be your compass to let you know you're moving in the right direction. That's what it's all. That's what that thing is trying to do. It's really trying to point me in the right direction. I'm not going to be derailed. I'm not going to be paralyzed. I'm not going to have these doubts. I'm going to declare what my vision is. I'm going to declare what my dream is. I'm going to declare what my success system is. I'm going to declare what my pathway is to success in business, in investment, whatever I put my hands into, that's going to be my success. And I'm not going to allow fear to use me in the old way. I'm going to use fear as a compass. When I move into something new, there's no need to be afraid of the unknown. There's no need to be afraid to fear success, to fear the unknown, to fear failure, because the direction that the compass is pointing in really is the direction that's going to produce a better me. It really is the direction that's going to produce a better me. Now, hopefully, it will help do the same thing for you. It will produce a better you. That it will produce a better you. I was doing a teaching a little while ago, and I was studying the word wealth. And that word wealth comes from an old English word, W-E-L-E, which has a threefold meaning. It means happiness, it means health, and it means prosperity. So what's good? What is the good to have prosperity when you don't have happiness and you don't have health? You have to have all three. Well, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. I'm going to wrap this thing up. This is Marc T. May. I am the host of Kickstart Your Life. Catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Also, follow us on Facebook on our Kickstart Your Life with Marc T. May page. Catch us there. Like, follow, share. Come on, contribute to this audience. And if you'd like to reach me, you can reach me at Marc, M-A-R-C, T.May at gmail.com. That's Marc T.May at gmail.com. Are you looking for a speaker for one of your virtual events? Are you looking for a speaker for a live event? Drop me an email. drop me an email, and I would love to be a contributor in your next event. All right, everybody. I got to get out of here. It's been fun. It's been real. This is Kickstart Your Life, and I am Marc T. Peace. Always remember, you're never too young or too old to kickstart your life.